You know, one of my favorite things to do is to check out other people's home studio setups. There's something really fascinating about the way somebody approaches setting up a studio. I also like seeing what people use and how they arrange things. I think it says a lot about their workflow. I usually wind up taking something away or gaining some sort of insight about how I could improve my own workflow and my own setup. So my home studio right here is perfectly designed for the workflow that I have. Now, not everybody is using the same workflow and doing the same things that I'm doing. So today I'm going to share with you the ergonomics of this home studio and how I get it to function to maximize efficiency for me in the stuff that I do. Smash like for the YouTube algorithm. Quick announcement: on Fridays from this point forward on this channel, 8 p.m. Central, I'm going to be doing live streams. We're going to be hanging out, having coffee, telling stories, doing some Q&A for 1 hour, Fridays, 8 p.m. Central. Come on by. All right, so the first part of a studio that I'm looking at is going to be the floor plan. What is being used? How are things laid out? Are there multiple rooms? What are those rooms being used for? My home studio is just one room. I use this one room for recording, for editing and mixing music, but also for shooting and editing video for YouTube. Here we are, right? All of this action is happening in a 20-foot by 13-foot room. So the floor plan is essentially a system itself. Here's how it works. When you enter the studio from outside, you can see the entire room. Immediately to your right is a mini fridge with a coffee area with some storage for coffee and tea supplies, as well as some other drums and studio supplies just above it. Right next to this area is the studio drum kit, and if you look over to your left, there's a path to walk to a door which takes you into the rest of the house, or you can walk around the drum kit, which takes you to the center and front half of the room. This room doesn't actually have any closets in it, so I had to get really creative with how I approached storage. In the middle of the room, I have this shelf from Home Depot. It's not sturdy or fancy at all. It serves its purpose though. It holds 3 baskets of non-essential items. In other words, I'm not reaching for these things on this shelf multiple times a day. Now, on the opposite side of the room is a window with some shelves that I built in. You can see that video right here that hold small containers. Honestly, these containers are rarely used by me, which is why I put the curtains up to be able to cover the area, because it looks silly having a bunch of containers. But they serve their purpose and work really well for being able to label things when you're in a pinch and you're looking for a computer adapter or an extra cable or something like that. It's easy to find them with that system being there. By literally building these shelves into the wall, it takes it off the floor and out of the way so I can maximize the space that I have left in the room. Now, just in front of this storage area is a super comfortable recliner that I keep for the client so they can sit in while we're working together. Now, I went with the recliner instead of a couch because the couch would take up way too much space in this room, and I typically only work with one person at a time anyway. Now, right next to the recliner is a guitar boat that holds a few of my go-to guitars that I like to use for writing and producing. Now, the location of the guitar boat being right here is important because either the client or myself can reach a guitar at arm's reach. Now, I know you're seeing things backwards in the shot, but I had to get a really nice looking shot for this video, so I switched things up just for the video. Just on the opposite side of the room, we have an 88 key Kurzweil keyboard that is on a keyboard stand with a second tier, which actually serves multiple purposes. So imagine this: I'm producing with the client. The client wants to use a keyboard. They have their own dedicated keyboard, and it's just right next to me, so I can actually either connect to it, or it has speakers that just live right on top of the keyboard, so that if they want to just hear the sounds in the keyboard, the speakers are always on so that you can just hear the sounds in the keyboard. Also serves great purpose if you're just trying to find a melody or some chords. They'd just be able to reach for some keys and it's just sound is on. You don't have to go through any computer software or anything like that, which is awesome. The other part that makes this super functional is if the client brings a laptop with them and they have some particular software they want to use, they can pop the laptop on the second tier of the stand, connect directly to the keyboard, and that way they can figure out the sound that they're looking for, or the part. They can either do it on their system, or we can connect it up to my system because it's reasonably close. Also, to the left and to the right of the keyboard, I have guitar stands mounted to the wall. So if somebody's doing their thing over there and they want to reach for a guitar, don't even have to move. Can literally just grab the guitar off the wall next to the keyboard, get the idea, get the part, whatever, hang it back up. Nobody has to walk around. You don't have to leave. Highly efficient. Now, last but certainly not least is the front and center of the room. This is the control center of everything that happens in here. So this desk is called Platform. It's made by a company called Output. This is not sponsored, by the way. I do love the company Output. Where you at? Hit me up. They did an excellent job with the design and build of this desk. All right, so the desk has this shelf right on top, and it holds my studio monitors at an optimal height for listening and mixing for long periods of time. The shelf also holds my computer monitor, which I actually have mounted on a boom arm. Link in the description if you're interested. Super convenient. I can use it to push the monitor closer, further, up, high, turn it sideways. It's awesome. This shelf also has 3 columns of racks, and they're 3 single unit racks in each column. So in total, you have 9 single rack mounted spaces. I'm currently only using 3 of these rack spaces, so the extra space I can use for computer equipment, hard drives, and camera accessories and stuff like that. The desk also has a keyboard drawer wide enough for an 88 key MIDI controller, which is just awesome. Because with most desks, you're trying to figure out where to put your MIDI controller, and then also, without moving, where to put your keyboard and mouse. With this desk, it solves that. It even has a little cutout in the middle so that you can put your legs and knees. Depending on the height of your chair, you can still bump your knees. So that's just going to be a problem with any desk. The desk is extremely large and very sturdy. I actually mount my computer, which is a Mac Mini, underneath the desk on the back side of the desk, so I don't even see it or hear it or anything. Now, all across the desk, they have these cable routing holes in it, which is so awesome for guys like me who don't like to look at cables. So what does that mean? Basically, anywhere you would think to put something, right next to it, there's a little hole so you can run your cables that are going to and from the unit back to the other thing that they're being connected to. So right behind each speaker is a hole in the desk so you can route your speaker cables and your power cables to the interface and to your power supplies and back without having to see them. So I have a lot of stuff on this desk, and I'm not even maximizing what I could have, but all of the cabling is routed out of the way, out of sight, out of mind, so it feels clean and functional to be able to get the most amount of work done without being distracted or like accidentally pulling something out. So yeah, this is by far where I'm spending the majority of my time in this room. I'm recording, editing, mixing music, and producing right here at this desk. And I also shoot these videos at this desk. All right, now one of my favorite parts of this setup is undoubtedly the drums. The drums are always set up, always ready to record. What does that mean? That means microphones are always on stands and lines are always ran ready to record. The lines run from the mics down the stands to the floor panel, which sits right there at the kit. So there's no cables draped across the floor. It goes through one snake along the wall, all the way around the back of the desk, and connects to the equipment up here. This prevents any accidents from tripping over cables that are in the way, somebody accidentally knocking down a microphone, don't want that, or them getting hurt, but more importantly, the microphone. All right, so let's say I'm recording drums and I'm the one who's playing the drums. Here's how it works. I pick up my keyboard and my mouse and my coffee, smash like for coffee. I keep a little TV tray right next to the drum kit set up at all times so that I can just set my keyboard and my mouse and my coffee on the TV tray while I'm sitting at the drums. I can turn and look and see my computer, clear line of sight straight up the room from the drum kit. And now I can operate and record literally myself while I'm sitting at the drums. I pop my headphones on and now I can control Pro Tools or whatever the program is that I'm using at the time, sitting there at the kit. By far one of my favorite parts of this whole system that I have going here. All right, now all the way at the front of the room, in each corner, are these 2 bass traps that I built. Now they're great because they do bass trapping. Now I also built them to the walls using door hinges, so I can actually open them up and use the space behind them as storage. So they're essentially functional closet spaces that allow me to access more storage. I also built these lights on the bass traps that are we'll call them custom built. They're very unique, but they look cool. They're great indirect lighting and they serve their purpose. So overall, this setup is really great because essentially it's just one room in my house. Let me know what you like about your setup down in the comments. If you don't know, I respond to literally every comment. So let me know what you like about your setup, something that maybe I can improve on my setup. I don't know, maybe you see some stuff that I don't. I love bringing other people in and seeing other people's setups because I can steal that and add it into my setup and make mine better. At the end of the day, I just want to increase my productivity and eliminate silly repetitive things that slow me down and are boring. Jump on over to ANDREWMASTERSmusic.com if you would like to hire me to mix your project or drum on your song. Smash like for the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.